you so shy? Get up here. What are you so shy? Let's look you guys up. Hey guys, we're just kind of coming live. I was watching something funny. Delilah's crawling up my back. You guys don't see her. We're kind of chilling out, having a gal pal day, and she just wants to play. I hope everybody's doing well. We're going to be kicking off. I'm sorry about this morning, so I figured we kind of can leave off some of our conversations from this morning. Hey Don, Eeyore Blues, it's nice to see you. Sorry, my hair is kind of messy. It's not really messy. I've just kind of been lazy, but not lazy. It's like I got to fix the front door. You know, I got the threshold done, and then of course my neighbor comes over here, and I was wanting him to help me with the front door. He comes over knocking. He's like, do you still need help? But it was been thundering outside, and I said, I don't want to get started on it. And then it starts pouring down rain on us. The door's open. You know, the whole gamut. So I'm like, nah. And he's like, well, what do you need done? And so I show him. He goes, you know, you. And it sounds so stupid because I know this. I know this. I absolutely know this. But I forgot it. You know, handyman work is one of those skills that are good when you kind of use them all the time. You know, so stupid stuff you forget about. You just forget about. What do I mean? Well, he's like, you know, you can just take the rods out of the hinges, adjust the hinges, and set the door on the track. It might be a little easier on you. I'm covering up the camera. You guys can't even see me. I know, right? Like, duh. No, how did I forget that? Duh. Here I am last night cussing. Oh, good gracious. Did I tell you when I do things like, you know, work on the car, obviously now work on home projects? Well, especially the car. It's a treat, okay? If you guys ever get to, it's very entertaining. My neighbor goes out every time he sees me pop the hood. He gets his bag of popcorn and goes out and sits in his chair, right? I'm not lying. He starts popping the popcorn because it's entertainment. I start throwing things, cussing like a sailor, which is not really much different than being on the Bullhorn Betty channel, but still. So I was out there cussing up a storm because the damn door was fighting me. I moved the whole, like I have this whole bookshelf right there by the front door. It's not for books. It's for all, you know, the nice little things that you put in there. All the books you got signed from people, you know, the keepsake kind of, you know, cute little whatever. And so I'm moving that out of the way. I'm getting into that door. You know, just getting into that door. And I'm like, I didn't bring my beep button in here, but I went beep, 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 beep. And so I just put it up, and now the door's, like when I came over and knocked, I said, well, it's open and close it. It's not like it's just that I'd like it to open and close it a lot nicer. And so that's when we got into the conversation about just taking the door off the hinges and just adjusting the hinges where they need to be instead of fighting the door with the hinges on it like I was trying to do last night. Just saying. Simple thing. But it's not that. That's not why. That's not why I got you guys on here. I'm watching, you know, sometimes, you know, I think too much. We getting so much gunky stuff, you know. It's heavy, you know. And it's the research is heavy and stuff like that. So I found like my coping mechanism, my freedom is, you know, sometimes when I'm researching, I'm playing some shows. Well, some of the shows I, you know, pay a little more attention to than others, or I'll get bored from, or just need a break from researching, and I'll just start zoning in. It just kind of gives just a break, you know, just, I don't know, just gets me out of my head, gets me from thinking, but it's never really getting me from thinking, you know, of crime and cases, because, you know, if you've ever watched Crossing Jordan, you know, it's still a crime show. It's a fictional crime show, but a crime show nonetheless. And so I'm sitting here, and then all of a sudden I just pop my head up, and it's one very, very, very funny part. So I'm going to play that for you guys in the background, and I'm going to set the scene for you. So I I don't get in too much trouble by doing this. Don, it's nice to see you. Eeyore Blues, nice to see you. Me and you. Denise, Phil, Stacy, Cheyenne, Kathleen, Melanie, it's nice to see you. Freedom Beans, oh, I like that. I like that. Aletha, good afternoon. Little Orange Man, Mark, odds on the Foots being innocent? Question mark? Yeah. I would show. I don't know. I think if they were found to be innocent, if everything comes out in the wash, total end conclusion, know everything that happened, and they're not responsible some way, somehow, it would literally suck the oxygen. I would literally be out of air and out of speech, out of breath and out of speech, which, if you guys know me, just doesn't happen. But if it did, I would probably have a real heart attack. I probably would. Police keep odds for investigation. Yeah, maybe. Tracy, it's nice to see you. Hello. Betty fan is up in the house. It's nice to see you, love bug. I hope you're doing well. One sock, it's nice to see you, love. So I think we got through to everyone. So we're going to kind of pick up, because we kind of did a slow start, which is a Monday morning. I did not know that they would give you a demo on a live stream for an hour. And they want you to stop the stream and start it over after an hour. No. If that's the best they're going to be able to do to try out a product for somebody that's going to be using that product for years to come, that was a shitty tutorial. I'm sorry, it just was. We do still have StreamYard, of course, and StreamYard is at the professional level until the end of the month. But you guys know I am super, super, super unhappy with StreamYard. And I've had nothing but problems. Now, the problems I have with StreamYard, although I haven't found a product that I really like 100, at least we're not having the audio issues. That drove me slap bonkers. I could be there 1 minute and another second, the stupid audio would just, and I'd have to back. When you're in a live show, that's like, you don't want to be, it's already tense enough because we don't do scripted live shows. Occasionally, I'll do a scripted live show. I won't lie. I do. It's ever since GPT, whatever it is. I've done, I've tested the chat GPT out for a better, running show, especially on tougher topics. I've used it to do scripts maybe, 3 or 4 times for some shows. And it was to keep me, and it wasn't really scripted. It was more, I don't think it was a script, more of an overview of the show. So I had how I wanted the show to flow, and it just kept me with my bullet points on schedule, so we didn't get off into the weeds too much. Hey Frank, it's nice to see you. The local American Legion people will tell you how they feel, so sus. Are you talking about Sebastian? Because our Sebastian's prompter. I don't do prompters even on the show. Like even I've been seeing TikTok. One thing you guys can do, I can guarantee. One thing that we don't do, at least for me, and I know Olivia doesn't because that's never how I was taught to do TikTok. But they're selling now apps and stuff for teleprompters on your show. Or for your reading and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, with the cutting that they have on these things, you don't need prompters or scripts. I'll use maybe, there are a couple that I done. Which ones were they? The one that I did, I think the first time I used a script or plugged it, no, not a script, but yeah, I guess it is a script. I kind of took some of the key points ChatGPT came down with, and I converted it to Word, and then I put it in a teleprompter, but it was for the National Missing Child's Day. That I used a teleprompter, and I didn't like it. But that one there I used a teleprompter for. And sometimes if I have notes and stuff like that, I'll stick them up in front of the screen when I'm in the office and just read directly from the notes. But you guys can always tell when I read from the notes and when I do not. And I don't know. I don't like the prompter. Is prompter, is that what it is? Is it a streaming service, or is it a teleprompter type thing for scripts? I guess maybe I should ask that before I went on a dissertation. That's what happens when you assume. Oh, good gracious. Jojo, it's nice to see you. Poor kid that lived in that night. No, just think about it, Mark, honestly. I mean, not just a poor kid that lived in that neighborhood. I mean, he lived in that nice house. That's a nice house. I mean, there's many of us that would love to live like that. I don't live like that. I'll tell you that. I'm a few steps below that kind of living. I'm just saying. So there's many. He had a beautiful, but he never even got to enjoy his own home. You know? He really wasn't allowed to play games. All he was meant to do was stay in his room. They didn't really take him to parks or, like, look at it like this. Mr. and Mrs. E, okay? If you've listened to their story, they've been plagued, their whole family just about has been plagued with cancer, right? And they're having struggles right now. I don't know the prognosis. I kind of lost track and lost contact. Maybe I should check up on them. But Mr. and Mrs. E had their middle E having a scare, a major scare. So, and they have and then they have, I think, the older E. I forget. I'm so sorry. But I can't remember all the E's or what they call them, but it's the older E, and he has autism. They told them that he would never be verbal, and you know, when I saw him for the first time, he said, "Hi, Bullhorn Betty." So I mean, it shows you a lot. But you look at parents of autistic children, and you envision parents much like Mr. and Mrs. E. You know, just They've had their struggles. They keep they're very kind people, and you find that a lot in autistic parents because they have to be so. They have to deal with a lot, you know. Even when, and that's what's. I think that's what we get from them because they're so calm, cool, and collected. They're always like cool as a cucumber, and I think that over the years they've just taught themselves that because. When you have an autistic child, especially one that may have some meltdowns or some, you know, outburst, which is prevalent in that particular diagnosis, you have to still remain calm. You know, when your child is uncontrolled, you know, they're having uncontrolled fits, you have to remain calm. When you know, and it sounds, because I don't want it to sound awful because these parents love their children, and I truly believe their children don't mean to. If their child knew that they were hurting their parent, they would not do it. But again, this is part of the illness and the outbursts. The violent more outbursts I've noticed were probably in more of the nonverbal, and I think it's because they have no way of expression. You know, we express ourselves a lot with verb. You know, when we're angry, we have an outlet. We have our mouths. You know, they don't have that. They only have, you know, letting you know. And sometimes you know, and I think it gets frustrating for them. But I don't think that. But you still have to remain calm. And so when I think of parents of autistic children, I think of parents. You know, because most of the parents that I meet resemble a lot of Mr. and Mrs. E that have autistic children, and that's why I say I think they just conditioned themselves over the years to remain calm, and that's where you get that soothing, calm. Because I mean, let's face it, Mr. E's voice is soothing and calming. Mrs. E's voice is soothing and calming. They both have soothing and calming voices, right? Raise your hand if you agree. I mean, they just. And I have to think, and I know other people, like SPED teacher, I know she deals with autistic, she's got this, she's just this sweet, they're just warm. They're just warm. And I think that they can, and you feel it. You feel their warmth, and I think that they get that from. So to see this polar opposite, like that's what we see when we see, parents with children with this. Typically, they're concerned about. They want to make sure that they get, a normal life, as normal life as possible. They want to make sure they're out getting fresh air, that if they enjoy going and playing on playgrounds, that they go often, as an outlet. You see all these other parents doing these things with their children, and then you look at the lifestyle of Sebastian Wayne Rogers, and coming back to Mark's original statement, and it just, they just don't feel, I feel like they had all of this to give this child, and they just refuse to share it. They're the ones with the wheels. They had the opportunity to get him to the parks. I mean, how many times have we heard interviews of Katie or Chris talking about, or even Seth talking about how he loves, outdoors. He loves to run. I mean, we saw him at the Sea World, right? And he just seemed to just enjoyed being around people, enjoyed being around the water, enjoyed the new experience. Like, this was new to him. And sometimes with autistic children, having that kind of outcome for a first experience is sometimes hard, and he thoroughly enjoyed it. And then you hear where even his own mother talks about how he loves to go to parks, and he loves to do this and he loves to do that. But when you look at the history, nobody's ever asked her point blank, when's the last time you did this? At this point, what difference does it make? Because she's probably already concocted a lie. And how are we going to prove it? Because most parents take pictures of their children. We don't have that here. We have a sneaked picture that we saw that we've never even seen what it looked like. That was literally the absolute most recent picture of Sebastian Rogers was that night at the Texas Roadhouse. And we have never even seen that photo. Law enforcement has never released it. Chris and Katie have never released it. I don't think Seth has ever seen it. So I don't know. But I've got to tell you, there are just some things that I'm starting to almost get conspiracy theorist when it comes to this case, because this whole thing with this leg is literally driving me bonkers. So Robertson County, if I recall correctly, how it works is we've got Sumner County, and to one side of Sumner County is Davidson County, which is Nashville, and to the other side of Sumner County is Robertson County, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, somebody from Tennessee is going to have to correct me on this, but I believe Robertson County as well as Sumner County have portions of White House in them. Like, I think part of White House is in Robertson County, and part of White House is in, but if it's not that, it might be Portland. It's one of the city limits that's partly in Robertson County and partly in Sumner County. And so Robertson County with White House down the middle. That's it. Okay, so that's what I was remembering. I thought it was White House, but I couldn't remember. So we know that there's direct ties between the Proudfoot Bowersox family and White House. I believe that is where the area that Christopher Proudfoot directly grew up at. Now, we have to use some plausible deductions when it comes to this leg, okay? And we're going to have to revert back to Riley Strain, because this leg, which is much lighter than a human, so I would have to think would have the ability to drift longer, but there's a lot of variables that we have to take into consideration with this leg. Was it severed or did it detach? Because then we have to take into another element. How long, because again, we have to consider the additional weight, because it was attached to much larger mass that is drifting, which would have slowed it down. So using Riley Strain, which I think Riley Strain, he was 6'1", 180 pounds, so tall and slender. He was able to make it 8 miles in 14 days. And I think that roughly equates, give or take, a quarter mile to a half a mile a day. Does that sound about right? Maybe like somewhere, I think that's the range. I'm going off memory. I don't have a calculator. I'm on my phone, so I can't use my Well, I do have this phone here. Where's the calculator on this one is the question. Give me a second. Let me ask Google. I don't know if Google will answer it. Let's just find out. If an object floated 8 miles in 14 days, how many miles per day did it float? A little over a half a mile per day. It says 0.57 miles per day. So now that we know that, sorry, I missed some of the comments in here. Let me go back up and read and make sure I didn't miss anything important. Sorry, when I'm like this, I like to read. I absolutely agree. Poor Sebastian wasn't allowed to do anything. It just didn't seem that way. Like we heard from out the gate his father talking about his favorite park, how he loves the park, how he loves this, how he loves that. We didn't really get that. And you know what really bothered me? What really, I guess, got under my skin? And it didn't get under my skin at first, but much later got under my skin, because Katie had referenced in one of the first interviews about how involved Seth was in Sebastian's life, and how Sebastian loved to run, and he used to run the track, and he'd get a mark on his back, and he just loved that. Well, when I found out when that was years before he disappeared. And that was the newest, the first recollection she brings up related to her son's outside activities and things he loves. She references something that he did years ago. And that, I didn't realize that had happened years ago, but we learned that was back in California. So it seemed to me that he really didn't get a whole lot of activity at his mother's house. Otherwise, she would have referenced a much earlier, much more recent event, just in my opinion. They were wanting to help their child, so they adapted by having patience and love. That's it. And most parents do. Like I said, some of the people that opened up to me, and I think that's really hard to open up to a stranger about the struggles of autism, especially different varying degrees of autism. We have some people in our chat that have children that are nonverbal. We have people in our chat that have high functioning adult children that live on their own. And so all these things, these people were opening up to me so I could understand, what autism was, because I was very, very open with my audience saying I'm ignorant. and looking to learn some information. And it was amazing how many people that we know have family that struggle with autism. I was actually quite shocked. I was actually shocked about how many people in our chat that we communicate with every day, we would have never known that they have autism unless they told us. And so we have still so much to learn, in my opinion, on the subject matter. But it just didn't seem, it seemed like Seth was talking about the things they did, recent things. You know, when he went and searched for his son, he went and searched at a park that Seth had only been here for like a year before Sebastian. I don't even know if he was here a year, maybe right around a year when Sebastian went missing. Maybe a year and a half. I mean, he hasn't been here very long. So when he was talking about the park and going and searching the park they go to, that would be recent, not something years ago when he was, I don't even know how old he was, 8 to 11 when that happened. I have no clue. Heavy equipment operators, he would be in 20%. Anyone remember how long Lacey Peterson was missing? I think she surfaced in a couple weeks. But that would be interesting. But I think she stayed fairly close to the bay, no? Or did she float in? He took her out a ways. I gotta remember. I forgot. That's so many years ago. I forget the details. I know we covered it when the Innocence Project was getting involved. But we covered more of the new evidence associated with it, and I just don't remember. I know we had to have gone over at least the Reader's Digest version, and that might have been in it, but I just don't remember. I really don't. Also, have to take into in weather, because it also flooded. That's right. That might move things along a little bit. But listen to this. I mean, now, guys, I know this is crazy, and it is conspiracy theorist as best. Maybe a little, because we know something. We know something. So I'm looking at the maps. Burn it. That one didn't come out good. This one didn't come out good at all. Okay, my big fat head's in the way. So let me move my big fat head out of the way. There we go. Okay. Do I want you guys looking over there? Or do I want you looking over there? We'll let you guys look over here. So when I do this, okay, good. Okay, so here is, let me get my hand back in here. I don't think you guys can see my hands, but over here, where you guys can see my hand flickering back and forth, is Hendersonville. Okay, that's Sumner County. And so over here, where my head pops in, hey, right down there, we're near Memphis. It's not Memphis. I put Horn Lake, Mississippi, because that's where he was staying, right there, where my finger's flickering off and on. Maybe I should put the middle finger up. Would that work out better? And then it stops flickering. That's funny. But I was trying to find something. And so I was looking at on the way up here, and I was looking at Madison County, because I don't know why Madison County seems to just be, it's somewhere there, but my attention, for whatever reason, is being drawn to Madison County, and I thought, and it was all by dumb luck. So I was looking for this Springfield River. Or Springfield, I think it's the river. I think it was called River. I can't, Springfield Lake, Springfield River. I think it was Springfield River. And I didn't realize how long Springfield River is. And I ended up putting Springfield River, Tennessee, and it took me into that county. What was the county's name again? Madison. And so I'm really starting to think, this item would have had to travel a great distance. We need to find out where the water is flowing in, because it's not there. It's down there between Clarksville and their home. So between Clarksville and Sumner County is where this this item was found, okay? It had to have come from somewhere. They said that it had been in that water. It had been in that water it's been, I can't remember the words that they used, but they implied that it's been there for a while. It's like old, right? Hey, Justin for All, how are you doing? It's nice to see you. I'm kind of doing this stuff. I'm trying to find a new streaming service. I hate StreamYard. I'm done with StreamYard, as a matter of fact. I'm done. My quality sucks. I know it has something to do with it probably running from my my laptop. I think I need a computer to run it because I think it needs other stuff. But I was trying it out, and I didn't realize this one that I tried this morning just to see if I liked it a little bit better, and I didn't. But it only gave me a demo for like, or I can only run 1 hour live streams on the free version. It's like, well, how do I know if I want to purchase it? I'm not purchasing a month of streaming service if I don't like it. So I ended up getting kind of kicked off my own live. So I'm kind of doing this one piecemeal. It's kind of like a part 2 of this morning, but we're having more of an informal conversation, because at the end of the day, it seems so obvious to all of us, but I think the bad part is, that's what's breaking all of our hearts, is that we know he wasn't treated well at his mother's house, and look how they lived. Like, he should have just been balling, like he has military parents, he lives in this fabulous house, he's got high functioning autism, he should be sporting the nice shirts, the nice clothes, the stuff that he likes, but he should be having and he didn't. He had, very limited stuff. I mean, they didn't treat him well. They didn't treat him like they treat Faith. And a child is a child. I just don't get it. They wouldn't take him to a park. His dad did that years ago. Yet they just recently, from my understanding, took Faith to a one of the parks somewhere here in Florida. They're charging $100 a month almost. StreamYard is. If you get something free, that's saving nearly $12. Well, no, just for what I'm saying is being able to try a product for even for 3 days, or even try it 1 or 2 times with all the perks, the bells and whistles, to see, if it functions like you need it to function. I mean, how are you supposed to use such a limited? I can tell you the limited version that I used, I didn't like, so I'm not going to use it again, and I'm not going to purchase a subscription from it. But there's a few other ones that I want to try out. But again, if they're not going to give me, at least the one, I'd like to be able to try, some of them give you 30 days free. I don't even need 30 days. I literally will know in 1 or 2 live streams whether it's going to work for me. I don't need even 7 days. I don't need 2 weeks. I don't need a month. I just need a couple tries. That's all I need, just a couple. See if I like it. If I don't like it, I move on. Please be nice to Bullhorn. I'll have to block you. That's how I cut out the bad ones. I thank you, Stephen. Who is the character behind you? I don't know. I had AI make it. I told him to make a funny dumb cartoon. I don't know. I think it produced. I'm just saying. I went to Grok. I said, "Can you make a thumbnail?" And they said, "Yeah. What do you want?" I said, I want a cartoon that's dumb and funny." So I'm like, gave me two options. I'm like, okay, this looks good. I'm on my phone. I can't tag. I know, that's the one bad thing. That's the one bad thing about it. We're here in this home loves. Yeah, Betty. People get blocked pretty quickly around here. I'm switching to a new streaming app. It's absolutely free, and in my opinion, puts stream. Okay, well, if you can send me some information, bless you, my child. Bless you, my child. Bless you, my child. Because I'm telling you, I'm searching all over, trying to do, and I'll watch, whatever I need to do to get it working the way I need to work. I don't want to do it, but I'd rather get something that works for me and invest the time up front and get it functioning right, so I can just be done. I don't want to keep dealing with it. That StreamYard, they just can't get it right. No matter how hard they try, they need to fire their engineer and get somebody worth a damn. I won't say who I thought it was. Okay. Call him Fredhead. Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, that's not funny. Aw. That's so sad. No. Yeah, he's a Fredhead. I love the look after 700 miles and what I felt. That how I look right now. I know someone allegedly. I'll send it to you. It's a thank God. Okay, well I appreciate it. Like I said, God bless you, because I've been spending like hours, countless hours, and my front door is being a real biatch, okay? Oh, Justin, I haven't even told you about this, and you weren't here yesterday. Or was it this morning? Oh my God. So, I was just going about my normal day, right? And for some reason, this particular day, my door didn't want to shut. And I'm like, I opened it up. I couldn't see where it's sticking at. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I reached down. And my threshold just falls off. I mean, literally just falls off. Like, OFT, off. It just went whoop. I'm like, well, shit. That ain't good. So I'm like, okay. So I pick up the threshold, curious as to why in the world a threshold falls off a door. I didn't put it in. You know who did? My ex. No, I didn't give the. I'm just saying. It's not my ex, but. So I'm looking at it, and he hooked the threshold to the laminate flooring. He never actually drilled the threshold into the concrete to secure it. I have no idea how for the last 10 years that threshold was there. It was stuck up with caulk. And I was thinking this entire time, the reason why I kept having water go up is because of the hurricanes. It wasn't. The threshold wasn't even sealed to the floor. So now we have the flooring damage at the front of the house. We never flooded. I never understood it. That means the back threshold probably is in just as great shape as the front threshold. What do you bet? So, long story short is Bullhorn Betty had to make a run to Lowe's. The bad thing is once I put the new threshold in properly, I realized that the door was not. So now I've got to adjust the brackets. And did I tell you guys that I had the reason why I ended up going and working with him is because we kept getting so much complaints about the quality of the handyman work. I'm like, it's handyman work. Who doesn't know how to do this? Who doesn't know how to do that? So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. So I went out there and I ended up having, and we're gonna leave it at that. All I gotta say is that the threshold is now properly installed. The door, once the rain goes by, it's closing very, very tight. It is absolutely sealed at the bottom of the door. So the only thing is I'd like it not to be as sealed at the bottom of the door and lift just ever so slightly so it's rubbing on the threshold. And so I'm not worried about the rain that's coming, so it can wait until after all the rain, you know, moves on through. I'm not locked into the house, you know. Even if I was, I've got like 4 doors. I don't know how this tiny little house has 4 entrance doors, but it does. Anyways, we're in good shape. Just thought I'd share that with you. But that's not the reason why I got this guy here. The reason why I got this guy here is because you remember when I was going back and I was talking to you guys about, you know, I sit here and I try to clear my mind as a coping mechanism. Well, I've gotten into this kick of going back to some of the movies that I watched, like, I don't know, 20 years ago. And so Crossing Jordan came up. It's been a while since I watched Crossing Jordan. And I came to this conspiracy theorist. This is when Jordan gets this nice Cadillac. It's like a 57 Cadillac or something, like, you know, one of those nice, but it's an antique, but it's like a nice, it's not beat up nothing. Yeah, like it's pristine, right? And she's driving, well, it breaks down on the highway. And so a guy in a beat up truck comes and you know, she's there with, I can't remember the guy's name, but the cute guy. And she's there with the cute guy on the side of the road. And this old guy with a beat up truck, you know, pulls up next to him and it's like, yeah, you want me to give you a lift? And, you know, Jordan's about to get into this truck and he goes, he goes, no. He goes, I watched this movie before. He goes, girl gets in the truck and you never see her. Never see her again. So what does he do? He decides to get in the truck. And so they're driving. So now I'm going to play this for you. I'm going to turn it up because you guys got to hear it. I want to describe this for you, okay? The truck has tinfoil inside that he wasn't being observant. That would have been my first clue to wait for the next vehicle that came by. But hey, whatever, right? He knew the risk, right? He pulled Jordan back and said, oh my gosh, right? He knew the risk. So he pulls Jordan back and says, nope, we watched this video before. And so she doesn't go, he goes. So we're going to go back just ever so slightly. I'm going to go back to where he says that. Oh, hold on. There they are on the side of the road. Hold on, I'm going to turn this up. Hold on, here it is. We're going to turn this up loud. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
Is there a service station around here that you can take us to?
6 miles up, but I only got room for one of you. How about I give the little lady a lift?
Can you guys hear it?
How about not? I saw that movie. The lady gets in the truck and I never see her again. I'll go with you.
There he
Fair
goes.
enough.
He's getting in the truck.
Hop in.
He missed all the tinfoil behind his head. So now they take off in this old beat up truck. So they're dropped down. But listen.
You come 43,000 light years. It's the least I can do.
43,000 light years.
Yeah.
Guy's
Well, that's
bonkers.
pretty far. So what is it? Reconnaissance installation? Specimen collection? Geological survey? What?
We're actually just here on business.
Don't think I don't know who you are. Cadillac. That's what gave it away. So you thought you could just blend right in. See, the TV signals you guys are picking up are from the 50s. We got fuel injection now. 10-disc CD changers in the back. 2.4% APR lease programs. You didn't count on that, did you?
I'm sorry.
He thinks he's an alien because he's driving this Cadillac. Because this guy's woohoo! But it's getting funnier. Hold on. I wish I could show you, but I can't. I have to kill you.
What the hell are you talking about?
Do you think you can come to our planet and suck the bile out of my liver?
Did you just say suck the
You
bile?
are in my force field now, sucker. Tinfoil.
Say what?
Tinfoil. Good old American know-how. I got the bug spray, too. So you can just take that and stick it up your Indian ass.
You know what? Why don't you just pull the truck over, okay? Just pull the truck over. I am getting out. I said pull it.
He takes green stuff and sprays in his face, okay? So he passes out. Now, the funny part's coming, okay? He's gonna wake up. He's gonna be in electric shock therapy.
Chef Thomas Keller.
Oh shit.
And welcome to the French Onion.
All right, it goes to commercial. We're gonna hear him get electrocuted, and then and this guy thinks he's an alien. All they're trying to do is get help. Leave it to Crossing Jordan, right? Leave it to Crossing Jordan. Thank God he didn't put. he was smart though. He said, we watched this movie. Pretty girl goes with guy in truck, never seen again. So pretty boy gets in truck. Guess what? He ain't never seen again.
How do you like that, R2-D2? Hurts, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't hurt, but it's pissing me off.
When's the invasion force land?
Ah, what are you talking about? Where am I?
You're in hell, boy. With that female with you. Is she a drone or an egg layer?
What? Ah, stop doing that. I'm a cop, all right? Go look at my badge.
Yeah, right. Oh, nice try. Boston, right. Boston. They don't have spell checkers on your pissant planet.
Ah, okay.
He didn't even know how to spell Boston. Okay, so that's what I was watching before I came live. As I was listening to that, it was cracking me up. That's why like I said, we all gunk ourselves up with all of this true crime stuff, and sometimes you just need an outlet. You never know how something like. There's been many times I've watched this garbage, and I got an epiphany. I got an epiphany about a case. Not recently. It might have been before I was a content creator, but I had a lot of epiphanies. And it was from watching this stuff. You never know. Electric shock. Maybe it's telling me I need electric shock therapy. Who thinks Bullhorn Betty needs electric shock therapy? Raise your hand. Mods, block all those people. Block them all. That's tough because most men don't like to acknowledge their deep sadness. Electroshock. Bzzz. Maybe we shouldn't do that again. That could be twisted into something. That's how rumors get started. We don't want to start any more rumors. All right, so that was kind of the funny part of today's show, because I was watching this and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta share this. I don't share videos. I don't share TV with you guys at all. But when I'm reading something, I got the TV running, and so imagine looking up and seeing this. You're kind of researching and you're like, what the hell's going on? I was only gone for 5 minutes. What the hell's going on in here? Right? Prayers for all the fallen, living victim, child or not, plus prayers for the parents who really care, like Seth, a true father. We need more parents like him. We do. We need good parents. We need good parents. And you know what though? He's also, now he can be a tough cookie, but he was also another person that took very good care in teaching his son life, and did that so patiently. It's something in those parents that just they have something in them, and it's just a calming, cooling. Now I wouldn't say Seth's the most calm, soothing voice in the world. But you can definitely see the love he has for his son. And it's just little things that you learned along the way, like teaching him how to cook. Things like, we never heard Katie talk about that. She's mom. She could have been teaching him how to survive on his own, but here his father is teaching him a life skill that he knows that will help him in his future, especially with the autism. Teaching him about what foods he likes and proper preparation of those foods that he likes. That's love, Hey, no joke, that's what they did to my daughter. Tiffany, electric shock to her brain injury to make her forget all the... Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. This was kind of, this was not a medical... This was kind of, he's a tin hat conspiracy theorist, and he thinks a Boston cop is coming from 37 light years away and is coming to take him to the mothership and explore on him. So he's got him tied to a chair with a little wand that goes zzz, 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 and shocks you. A little bit different, but I know. For medical purposes, That's not the most unheard of. I don't think it's a widely accepted practice, but people have said it's helped with depression and other things. So I don't know. I mean, to each their own. Hi, Betty. Have you heard of OBS free streaming service? I have, but there's a lot that goes into OBS, and I can do it. I can do it. I've already had already started working on it, but this was when I first started out. And I didn't know about the transitions. I didn't know about, I thought you had to pay for everything, like all your stuff, but you can build it. So I could design my own backgrounds and layers and the little squares that the boxes go in and stuff like that. That like lunch. Might be lunch or dinner. I'll be right back. Look at my goofy guy. Alright, what we got? Alright, watch out, Philly. Oh, you want me to ride? Sure. Give me just a few moments. Let me end my live and I'll take you out down. Give me about 5-10 minutes. All right, guys. Well, that was the neighbor. He didn't bring me food, which always makes me happy. He ended up bringing me my mail, which still makes me happy. I didn't have to go out there, but he also let me know his vehicle is ready, so I've got to get him up to the mechanic shop, and I will be back later. I don't know. We'll probably roll out. It's 5 o'clock now. I don't know. I'll probably do a live around 9:30, 10 o'clock. To discuss the Lilly and Jack case. I'm probably going to do it just like this, but we have an audio that I want you guys to hear that we're going to discuss, and it's going to break down some different things. We're going to be listening to Belinda as well as Janie, but I have some things to say about Janie's statement and some suspicious kind of hunches about what may have transpired there at the house, especially in light of Belinda's most recent statement. So now I'm pretty sure, Justin, you're going live. What time this evening? I think Justin's going to be going live. I'm just trying to find out so you guys can. I'll be over there for a little bit if he's going to be live. Usually he goes live. But either way, go over to Justin. I think he's been talking about, some of the Lilly and Jack case. Oh, there's one other thing. I want to tell you guys all, because there's just been a few instances where people have sent me AI produced content. Some AI produced content is good, is okay, I should say, and people are getting it legitimately. But there is some content that I've noticed, and I don't know how they're misrepresenting the information so much. The first one I seen was related to Chris Watts. There was something on TikTok going around that Chris Watts was murdered in jail. And that was the first one. And I went back and I double checked. And Chris Watts was not murdered, but and then I saw another content creator go by it, pick it up, and start talking about it. And that's how misinformation and disinformation happen. And then the most latest one is related to the Lilly and Jack case, and about that Darren guy and him possibly being arrested for obstruction. I don't know Canadian law that well, but I did look into it as best I could, and found out that might not be accurate either. So be careful when you're watching, and you should be able to tell whether the way that it speaks, that the speech pattern on it, it's not really, you can tell it's not a real person, and some of the videos in it don't even go with the storyline that they're talking about. Those are AI generated. I don't know who's putting that out there. I don't know if it's like a company like in a different country that just doesn't know about these cases, that is just, getting content out, AI content out as quickly as possible to get, financial support on that. I'm not sure what the case is, but please be careful Do your own research, please, because this is just to bring your awareness to it. This is happening, and I don't want you guys being fooled or distracted or anything like that, and I don't want you passing around misinformation or disinformation either. So it's not your fault. I understand that it's happening, and so do other people, but I did want you guys to know that I have seen it personally for myself, and I don't know what's causing it. I don't know where it's coming from, but just be careful. If you're always concerned, always send it to me. I check the stuff out. I get back to you. I let you know whether or not it's legit or not. Now, with the Canadian case, like I say, one of the biggest problems I have is struggling with getting proper and detailed information. Anyways, guys, take care. I will chat with you guys soon. Rocking out your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.